Good afternoon. Welcome to the Islanders. This is Charita Benepayo. Today we are here in Hill Valley Clubhouse in Hayward covering the annual convention of the California Federation of Women's Clubs Alameda District. The California Federation of Women's Club has been in existence for almost over 100 years. This was chartered by U.S. Congress in 1900, and it is an international organization doing a lot of community work for the community and for those people who are underprivileged. We have several programs that we have been covering and helping the whole nation. The General Federation of Women's Clubs is an international organization, and we have members all over the world. There are about 6 million members in the International Federation of Women's Club. I'm showing to you the California Federation of Women's Club logo. And there's a lot of great achievement that the Federation of Women's Club has achieved. There's so much to tell. Anyway, you can go and visit www.gfwc.org or www.cfwc.org. We are going to share with you this evening the annual installation of Women's Club, which is the Alameda District, and the incoming president is Corazon Ariosa. She has been reelected, and now she's going to serve for another 2 years. And the guest speaker and the installing officer is the past California Federation of Women's Clubs President, Carol Lopez Lucy. So without much further ado, we are going to share you about our installation Alameda District.
Being a widow for 17 years. She has one daughter, two granddaughters, and is awaiting to be a great grandmother any day now. I would like to present our guest speaker, Mrs. Carol Lopez Lucy.
Well, thank you for that very nice introduction, but I will tell you, I am a great-grandma now. I know. My youngest granddaughter, and McKenna and Alex have a little boy, 7 pounds, 11 ounces, and he's a week old. I got to hold him last Saturday night, and he was so little and so precious. But we had never had a boy in our family, so this is the first boy. So I said, I don't know how I'm going to handle boys. Well, my husband has 3 grown boys, so he said, never mind, I can take care of it. This little fellow will be spoiled. He has great grandparents on the daddy's side, great grandparents on the mommy's side, and my daughter was her first grandchild, and it was Alex's first. His mother's first grandchild, and 2 doting aunts. So, I'll have to go out and spend the night to get my fix on the baby. But I'm proud to be your installing officer today. So I would like to have all the officers that we're going to install come forward, please. And we'll have, we'll have the lineup of the parliamentarian, and I'll get the so, Corey, we'll have you stand at the bottom, then the first vice president, then the second vice president, and let's see, then the recording secretary. And I want to see, okay. Okay, the treasurer after the recording secretary. The auditor, she has to get up here. And the parliamentarian and corresponding secretary, you're up here, yeah. You're up here. It's up here too, of the recording secretary. Because we sort of do you backwards. So today we've come together as dedicated volunteers from Alameda District, all members of the California Federation of Women's Club, which is of course a part of the GFWC International Organization. So before we begin our installation of the new administration, I think we need to all congratulate those who served prior to you. And so if you'll join me in giving them a hand of applause for their service. Cora has chosen as her theme, Stars of Federation. Members of Alameda District have given of their time and service, and the rewards they receive for that service far exceed the hours that you have given. Members have instilled within themselves that they will continue to give, but this time they will be reaching for the stars as they begin their 2018 administration. Now, I too looked up in the dictionary what stars mean. Fate, destiny, a fortune, a person who excels or performs brilliantly is in a given activity. So it did help me a little bit more than you got out of membership. There are 200 billion stars in the universe. Stars differ greatly in color and brightness. Some stars look yellow, like the sun. Others have a bluish gleam or a reddish glow. A few stars twinkle brightly, but many of them are hard to see. Stars twinkle because starlight comes to us through moving layers of air that surround the earth. They shine day and night, but we can only see them when the sky is dark and clear. Travelers used to learn to use the stars to tell directions. Early farmers watched the stars to know when to plant their crops. So stars stand for spatial importance. Stars form groups of clusters. A five-pointed star is the most widely pictured and is a symbol and is in the arts. The stars of our federation will begin with each of us sharing our brightness and providing leadership to all members of Alameda District, giving each member the opportunity to shine brightly and become self-confident. The stars enable us to have a vision for the future of Alameda District, and all of this cannot be accomplished without having a goal to be a star for Federation. Become a star by sharing your brightness for all your sisters in Federation. Giving each member the opportunity to serve, setting your goals for the year, and carrying out those goals to make the bright stars that make your communities a better place in which to live. This is the beginning when all members work together, creating beautiful stars that can make the difference. Each star must take responsibility for their office so that this district may flourish. So as your name is called, step forward and accept your star that depicts stars glowing in the breezes and stars extending high above the earth, depicting the desire to be a star in Federation. Barbara, would you step forward? Your star is silver. Your star shines through the district, encouraging all clubs to follow simple parliamentary procedures in order to run a smooth and efficient meeting. As you know, you may inform Madam President, but she is the star, and her decision is final. You must have the newly revised Robert's Rules of Order and know where to research parliamentary issues. So it's a big book to study. And your star depicts a vast knowledge. As you know, the parliamentarian must remain neutral on all issues and must be fair to all. Your star will provide the direction for service to your community and protect the rights of all. Congratulations. Carol, your star is a turquoise.
Pretty.
Your star shines steadily through Alameda's district's correspondence. With your glow, you will conduct a correspondence of the direction from the direction of the president. This gives you the opportunity to enlighten all the stars of Alameda District. So, be a star in federation for your community. You may be called upon to assist the president in preparing the data for the CMWC and for issuing calls to your district. Your glowing star will provide many colors that will twinkle throughout the district. Congratulations. Joanne, you have a black star. Now, no, black is good. Your star shines through Alameda District by reviewing how the monies of the district are received and spent. You want to make sure that there are checks and balances. Otherwise, the stars would not shine brightly. Make sure that the bank registers balance with the official books. It is your duty to see that the treasurer is making the correct entries. Now, even though you have a black star, your star will shine brightly when you know all the checks and balances flow nicely and that Alameda District star is shining brightly, but the books are in the black. Treasurer Carol, your star is blue. Your star shines steadily through Alameda District by receiving and spending the money. You certainly will be much happier when the stars are always in the hues of blue, and you can accomplish that by surrounding yourself with stars emitting hues of green, which is money. It is very important that you keep accurate records, as each star will depend upon you for detailed reports. Glow steadily around your community as you collect money and reimburse members for their efforts in volunteering in the community. Your star will show beautiful clusters of color through your leadership of service. And to your district and community, we know that you will treat each penny with care. Congratulations. Recording Secretary Alice, your star is white. Your star shines brightly while taking the minutes of Alameda District's meetings and convention. Just remember that only the action is taken and is recorded, not all of what is said. Minutes are a permanent history of your district and are the legal documentation of your district, which should be kept forever. You will have clusters of stars to work within the district, and you must keep a list of the clubs in the district, as well as the rates of chairmen, standing committees, and special committees. Your duties may include the assisting the president, and certainly the raise of enthusiasm and leadership. This will be a true beauty of a cluster of stars. You will listen, record, and be an active member by shining brightly through your writings. Congratulations. Second Vice President Gale, you have a red star. Your star emits hues of red, which is true brightness through all clubs within Alameda District, and making sure that you retain all the members and invite potential members, educating each group about federation. Membership is a group of stars working together. No star shines brightly as a cluster of stars. You, as the leader, will show them that the true leadership is by glowing brightly. Get those other stars educating their members about what wonderful work is accomplished and throughout this organization, and emphasize the wonderful friendships that will be made by working together. Your job is fun, making those stars shine diligently throughout the district to enable your district to grow not only with members, but opportunities and leadership. Enthusiasm is contagious when so many stars twinkle brightly. Congratulations. Gloria, you have a green star. Your star shines brightly throughout the district, coordinating the work of the chairman, the first vice presidents, and dean of chairman. It's fun working with all other stars that are promoting the arts, conservation, education, home life, international outreach, public outreach, and non-spatial emphasis such as advocates, children, or prevention of domestic violence. You will get the opportunity to show different hues of stars of your district, and your light shines to other parts of the state in the you as just Alameda, but there are other districts you will share the work with. Those other first vice presidents of the state will have many hues of light to communicate and each other in promoting the work of federation. If the main star is absent, it will be your duty to step up to be another hue of color. Your star will shine brightly as you recount the many accomplishments of your district and through your district becoming a Federation star. Congratulations.
Thank you. President Cora, your star is larger, but it is gold and glowing. Your star provides the leadership as your district performs brilliantly in Federation. As a leader, your star knows just how to blend with all the other stars in your district as you carry out the duties to make a wonderful cluster of stars. Your job as president entails many duties. First, you are administrator in charge of the overall workings of your district. It is your duty to make sure that each officer is aware of their responsibilities and they perform their job and their duties in an efficient manner. You must make sure that your officers and members are volunteering and are committed to community service. It takes lots of patience and understanding, and you need to be a friend to everyone. You need to be the star that glows brightly and show each member how they all can twinkle to lend light for Alameda District. As you know, the brightness of your star may quiver sometimes, and sometimes your star will feel weak, but you must be strong and shine brightly and aid everyone with beautiful hues to show along the way. You will represent your district at CFWC board meetings and convention and return with information for all your stars. Your newly elected officers now can shower everyone with beautiful hues of color as they join their stars to make a cluster of stars to emit their lights for Alameda District. Congratulations. I now declare that the 2016 and 2018 officers are duly installed. Congratulations to each of you. Shall we cluster? Thank you, Carol, for installing us. Shall we cluster? And thank you for all your hard work to Federation.
Thank you, Carol.
So you can be seated now, I think, and just shine your stars brightly. Okay, get all your stars to show your colors.
It is with great pride and joy to be your district president. As the anchor to this term, we carry the continuing theme, Shining Stars of Federation, which you are all. As we march ahead in mastering this theme to new heights, I would like to impress upon everyone 4 points to ensure the success of our district. Communication. In order to keep our organization interesting and relevant, there must be positive communication throughout our district clubs to make every monthly meeting outshine previous meetings. In other words, we need to stay on top of all events, activities, and projects in a timely manner. We need to project the image of professionalism and decorum in all our communications, whether to submit topical items in news bulletins and magazines. All who we are appointed as public relations representatives must continue their connectivity to members of the organization so that as a district we become one solvent unit. We will become influential from district to state as our projects become more and more immersed in community. Reports. Part of this communication is that we encourage clubs to submit more reports in a timely manner. This would mean that members should be savvy in the program they are sharing with their submission. We encourage the use of federation information on these programs so that we are all informed as we make these reports. In addition, we recommend that all district clubs insist on training members as to how to gather reports on their programs and provide on proper formats for submission. District attendance. There's more to district meeting than simply requesting members to attend. We need to make everything topical and sequential to community. Members will attend when agenda items allows their participation, involvement, to enhance their strengths as members. We need to shine on our district whenever possible, that all the clubs become integral and significant in every way possible. Recognition is a factor in our district, or that it must be. Whatever or whenever a club builds its own project or event that measure with positive results, the district must be in sync to recognize that. When there is positive enticement, I know that we get the best attendance in our district. Focus on leadership and fulfillment. Education and information decisions are basic formula in allowing a district chairman to conduct well-informed workshop on programs or projects that can be tools for members who need refresh or new beginnings. In an effort to ensure proper connection, results of the program would be included in the club newsletter to share. In a continuing effort to build leadership and learn knowledge of relevant programs, club presidents are encouraged to invite a guest from the state or other organizations to enhance such programs. I realize that in terms past, our district has enabled clubs their own resources in making their organizations shine in their own right. I propose to make our district even more prolific in that we task ourselves in serving our communities in education and leadership. Some of that can be found in scholarship programs. That concludes my acceptance speech. I would like to recognize those people who always drive me to meetings, convention, etc. I would like to recognize Lisa and Cholin Cordero. Without them, I cannot come to the meetings. Thank you.
Load your speech. I thought that was cute. Don't say much.
And now we would like to call on our convention's chairman, Joanne Silveira, to introduce past district presidents.
Okay, do you want them just to stand? You don't want them to march in?
Oh, okay.
Okay,
No marching?
gives me great pleasure to introduce our Alameda District's past presidents. First, Mrs. Victor Steppen and our road together in 1988 to 1990. Next, Mrs. Romeo Benapayo Charito. 13 was women on the wings of wisdom, ideals, novelty, growth, and success from 1994 to 1996. Mrs. L.P. Abalencia Modi, Her theme was a pledge to leadership and service in Federation from 1999 to 2002. Mrs. John Coons, Barbara. Hers was win, confidence, place priorities, show federation, also ageless, tireless, timeless, forget less and do more in federation. Her years was 2004 to 2006, and again 2012, 2014. And last but not least, Mrs. Robert Crossett, Carol. Her theme was a team working together to imagine, believe, and achieve. Her year was 2008 to 2012. Thank you, Cora.
Thank you, John. Now, are we ready for lunch, to do the lunch blessing?
We just got here.
Okay. So maybe I can call Carol Lopez Lucy to speak on something. Thank you, ladies.
A wonderful district with 9 clubs, so then you have a cluster of stars. So how do you go about getting to have your individuals stars shine brightly in your club? Well, now as we know, and especially our person in membership kind of outlined in her report, you didn't report all that you do in membership. It's like, do any of your club members, do they participate on any city councils, or are they on committees within their communities? Do they serve on advisory boards? That's all part of membership or leadership. And what do you do to instill members? How do you get new members? So that's what we're all struggling in the entire state of California and throughout the United States. I'm just going to give you some suggestions you can take back to your clubs or whatever, because you need to get new members, because we are all getting older and we need new blood in there. And as you know, we're changing to computers, and some of us have to keep struggling to keep up ourselves to know how to do. So have your clubs have a little meeting that you have for new members. I think Killenville, you have a tea for new members, isn't it, for prospective members? And I'm sure a lot of you do different things to get new members. But just remember, to have it informal, sit around and chat with them. Maybe you have a little giveaway to give them, just a little, something that entices them to come back. Maybe you can have a little bookmark with the highlights of your club. And sometimes and I should have brought it up here, the pens are really nice that you have that have the stylus on one end, and then they can also be a pen. And then put your name on those and give them to new members or guests that come or anything, because they really make a big dent. So those are nice little things, because everybody likes to get a little something. And that gives you members a time to be a star, to show other people what you do. So the main thing you don't want in your clubs is to become a clique, because then you won't grow. Because then people will say, oh, well, we don't want to join you because, you're just a little clique. So make sure that you mingle with everybody. When you go to meetings, sit with somebody you don't know. A lot of times, and I know we have this in our club, oh, well, I want to sit with my friend. Okay, well, maybe 2 of you go together and sit together, but mix around so that you get to know everybody. We now have about 10 new members in my club, and I have made an effort to go around and sit by them, because they also have questions when they come to a meeting that you can answer, because it takes a while for them to find out what you're doing. So I would encourage you all to have little flyers or pamphlets about your clubs that you can give them. Make them professional looking, because nowadays the members that we're attracting, they want to be professional. They want you to run an efficient meeting. They don't want everything to go astray. But there again, as the parliamentarian has to help the president have, an agenda and everything. So Cora's done an excellent job of having her agendas and run smoothly. So, because your first impression may make the decision for that prospective member whether you join or not. So be professional, be very organized, and point out your good points at what you're doing. So, you know, you can do small things. So after you do have some prospective members, I encourage you to have an orientation, which I've heard that some of you have had. And make that very simple. Explain the basic facts of Federation, that we're just not one little club, but that we're a large organization and we make a difference. And I could stand up here and tell you all the wonderful things we've done by the white line down this road, the start of the libraries that we've done, the Pure Food and Drug Act, and many, many more. So I'm going to also let you know that this administration, we've done some restructuring of your house, which, as you know, our international president lives in Washington, D.C., stays in the House for 2 years, which is one term. So she is inviting all members to come and visit. Because if you're in the Washington, D.C. area or thereabouts, call them up, tell them you're there and that you want a tour, and they will give you a private tour. It's a wonderful building. It's on the Historic Register. There are pictures there depicting every state, so you can be very proud of that. And there's a lot of things that clubs or, you know, districts or states have given to the headquarters. So it was really, really your house to take advantage of. And the resource center is there. A lot of people come there to resource from our headquarters, finding out about what women do. And I finally, 2 years ago, I got to stay overnight in the house, which I've always kind of wanted to do. And it's an old house, you know, so it doesn't have all the amenities that your homes do now, but it's really neat. And I got to stay there when I was the champion for Shot at Life. I was asked to go, and I told Cora this, that she should put in for a scholarship, that they have the champion at life every year in March. And so I got to go. And it was a wonderful experience to tell all about how we can help children be able to live a life to full advantage. We had professional speakers, we had nurses, and we had some people from overseas that were nurses that, you know, was trying to help. And of course, one of the things that impressed me most is they don't name their children until they're about 5 years old in some of the foreign countries, because sometimes they don't live long enough to name them. And these ladies walk miles and miles with their children to try to get them shot. Sometimes they're so ill, by the time they get there, they have passed away. And it's one of their cultures that they have to go back to where they live to bury their child. So all they really could do was wrap them up in a nice little blanket and you know, hopefully. But we are eradicating, you know, polio and malaria is almost done. So it's making great progress. So we can be proud. And so I'm glad that Cora has her Shot at Life, because it's a true, wonderful organization. Just, you know, after you have potential members, then, you know, maybe 3 or 4 months later, have another little orientation, because by that time, maybe they'll have some questions. Why do you do this, or how do you do this, or whatever. So I just was so glad to hear that some of you have the arts, that, you know, because I bet everyone in this room has a talent that you could share. And that's what I found when I was a state president. Everybody has one little talent. You all think you don't have any, but you do. And I'm sure I encourage all your clubs to enter those art contests, because you can't believe some of the things that you do. Now, do any of you do the art contest for students in the schools? You do? Because it's amazing. Now, my club, we have 2 school districts. What we have one in San Ramon and we have one in Dublin. And so this past year we had about 400 entries. And so we have 3 professional judges come in and judge. And I tell you, when you see some of those paintings, the kindergartens that I couldn't even do, you really feel proud of it. And then it's sad that some of our ladies don't enter anymore with the art or crafts. And I encourage you to do that, because show your talents, because we're losing that in our United States of our crafts and everything. Because, the first places get to go on to state, and then, they get a small amount of money and whatever. And you also, if you paint or whatever, you can go on to state and get awards. We took down our art, we did to show it in one of our art galleries in San Ramon, and we're going to have a reception. And you should see, talk about shining stars. Those students are so thrilled. We invite the first, second, and third and honorable mention with their parents and their teachers and the judges to come. And those parents shine brightly just as much as their children do in Vegas, because not every child can be in sports, but this is their avenue to shine. So I encourage you to do that. As you know, there's simple little things. I'm just going to give some simple ideas because lots of clubs are small and you can't do a lot of things. But in Alameda District, you all have to take your shopping bag to the grocery store. So report that in your conservation report, that you recycle. You take the bags to the grocery store, and this is one of the things you're doing for recycling. Another thing, if you use your computers, do you recycle your cartridges? Because you can take those back. You can report that. Do any of you collect pop tops from sodas and beer cans? Because they do make a difference. You can send them to the Ronald McDonald House. There's one in Sacramento. There's one in Loma Linda in Southern California. They collect all those pop tops and they recycle that, and that's how they help families go to Ronald McDonald House when their children are ill. Something simple that you can have your club do, and it's in conservation. In education, it's very easy because, we all have scholarships. I was glad to hear how many, scholarships you have. And reading, we're all grandmothers and great-grandmothers, and so it's great that you read to them. And if you have Head Start or anything like that in your neighborhood, you can read. Or do any of you read when it's Dr. Seuss's birthday? You can go and take, you don't have to take every class, just take 2 or 3 classes and read to them. And they're very receptive to that. So in education also, you have, your scholarships, and I know you're all very involved in EDGE. And remember that's the Alameda District, Loma Prieta, and Mount Diablo District are the very large contributors to that. And I must tell you that we have 2 boxes of cookies about like this that we're going to be donating, in addition to water and juice this year. So it's thing, and we had the speaker come, and it's really another star in our federation life is when you can see these sophomores. If you ever go and attend, I mean, it's a remarkable experience to see the leadership and the enthusiasm they have, and then you go home and you think, okay, you hear all these bad things, but there's going to be young people coming up that will be leaders in our lives. I just want to tell you about some safety things in home life that we are impressing upon. There's so many scams going around now. And so we wanted to be sure that you tell your members and your friends, don't get, into these. Because the big one now is, you get the email saying your daughter, your granddaughter, or grandchild, has gone on vacation and they've been robbed, and, would you send money? Well, once you send the money, you don't have any money, and you've been hacked, and so it's a big thing to get your life back in order. So hang up on these people, or say something goofy to them and hang up. Now the new one that's going around, have any of you received a call from an IRS person supposedly? Well, they're not gonna call you, and you're not gonna go to jail. So just hang up on those. And then the other one that's around is if you'll have somebody supposedly calling you from Microsoft saying, oh, we're going to fix your computer for the problem you have. Well, they just want to get in there and hack you. So those have happened to some of our members. So I just would like you to know that hopefully you don't want to get in this, or just spread the word in your clubs and to your friends. Hang up on them, or tell them they're stupid or dumb or some silly thing, The other thing in home life is you have to stay healthy. So how do you stay healthy? The first thing is you have to eat smart. So we need not to eat so much junk food and all, but plan your meals. It's very important. Now we have a program, wow, at the state, and that's for women walking. Now you can have a group together that you can get out and walk together, or you yourself can get and walk, and, figure out your miles and walk, and you can report that. That's keeping yourself healthy, and get your friends to do it with you. Another way that, yeah, we walk, we are healthy, but we're sisters in federation. Another thing is, are you, this year, and maybe some of you are like me, sort of tired of the campaigning already, but we need to be proud that we live in America and that we have the freedom that we do. So if you have a friend or whatever that is not a citizen of the United States, I would encourage you to be a mentor to them, help them become a citizen, and support them, and that when they have the right to vote also. So ladies, it's very important you vote this fall, because it's only been a little over 100 years since that we've had the privilege to vote. So some of our ladies in Federation years ago went to jail and everything so that we would have the right to vote. So I encourage you to vote. Support our veterans is a very important thing, and give care packages. Do you have Blue Star moms in your communities or anything like that? There's usually groups, 501c3, that they usually send boxes at 4th of July, Christmas time in that era, and you can send them, books or candy, cookies, popcorn is very good because you can even pack them popcorn. But there's a list usually of things that they want. Socks are always on there, white socks. So support those. I will warn you to be careful if you've supported the wounded veterans. I'm sure that you've heard of that program. And we've investigated them, and they're skimming from the top. So I would encourage you to support your troops in other ways than through one wounded veterans, because the top members have been receiving monies and it hasn't been going to the wounded veterans. So I would encourage you to look at that. But I encourage you, anything that you give money to investigate, is their money really going to the purpose? Another new thing that's really scary is that so many of our young people are now in the area of trafficking. The prostitution is just it's really sad. Now in Dublin, I know that there was a raid in a hotel, which they found several. There was a house in San Ramon that was promoting sexual acts. And it's the big guys, supposedly, or whatever you want to call it, that they're the ones making the money. But young women and men are being slaves to sexual abuse. So I would just like you to be aware of this. There's many movies out now that you can go, and perhaps that we're hoping in San Ramon that we can get a group together to have a seminar or anything to educate people what's going on, because this is becoming $1 million a year profit for the person who's in charge of all the slaves. So that's kind of a sad thing. And support your local abuse shelters. Like some of you have said something that you do that. That's really great. There's a friendly place in Oakland that needs your help. That gives women a chance to take a shower and become, clean, and that they can have some meals and everything. So there's a lot of things that you can go along. Foster a Dream is another one that helps foster children that you can contribute to, not only money, but if you work with them sometimes, the foster children don't have extra money. They have a nice pair of extra shoes or go to the prom or things like that. So it's another wonderful organization you can work with, such as CASA also. That's people take in children that are wards of the court and help them there. So these are all things that you can accomplish, and they're small things. And it's much better to do several small things that you can handle than having to try and do a great big project. You don't have to do that. But when you combine a lot of little projects, it really adds up. And I like the idea that you had our second vice president here, you had these little gimmicks, which are so fun to have. And fundraising, we've had some new things. One, if you want to raise money, is like a deck of cards. Instead of, it's like a 50-50, but instead of giving tickets, have a deck of cards, and you draw one and you split it in half. And then the other half is kept by that person. And then, it's kind of fun when they stand up and say, okay, if you have a black card, sit down. And then if you have certain things, and they keep doing it to where, it gets down to where it's kind of fun to see. It's a different way of raising some money, and it's still like a 50% goes to your club or your district, and 50% goes to the winner. But it's a new little twist on things. Or another one we've had is heads and tails, and you all stand up if you paid your $5 or whatever. So then if you want, they're gonna flip a coin. So if you want heads, you put your hands on the head, your heads, and if you want tails, you put it on your fanny. So they flip the coin. So then, if it lands heads, then you can stand up. But if you've done it on your fanny, you sit down. And they keep doing that till there's only about 2 people or till there's finally a winner there. And so it's just another fun thing that you can kind of do that, livens up your meetings, because you want to have some good programs at your meetings, but you also want to have some little fun, and at the same time you can make a little bit of money. So there's just different things that you can do, but just remember, try to get new members, orientate them, and do the best you can for your community by just doing small things. A large club can do things much better, that are more than small clubs, but not always. A lot of times those small clubs do just as much as big clubs. So I'm really interested to hear your reports today. They were very good, and so I'm proud of your district, and thank you for inviting me, and good luck.
Thank you, Carol. Now, Alice will do the Lord's blessing.
Our Heavenly Father, we pause to express our gratitude for their great love for us. Help us, we pray, to strive to be more worthy, more merciful and kind, humble and sincere. We thank Thee for Thy bounty, which has always supplied our every need. And bless us, O Lord, for all the food we have about to receive. Amen.
Amen. It's ready, but head table first.
Good night. See you next week.